Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're here to discuss tomorrow night's game as Celtic going to match day 3 in need of a win against Austrian side Sturm Graz. I'm joined by Alistair. Alistair, first and foremost, going to wish you a happy birthday since it's your birthday yesterday. Did you have a good birthday?
Yeah, did I? Thanks very much, Josh. And no, I didn't get any Celtic stuff, folks.
All
That
for the
was a good,
boycott,
a
the
good, didn't
merchandise
it?
boycott.
I didn't do that. So.
But no, and then you get to spend it tomorrow watching shite and listening to my pish. But anyway, Alistair, Sturm Graz, tomorrow. Honestly, this would be we could put this in a really short video because there's generally a clip that just sums up my feelings at the moment, and here it is.
Now, you're definitely going.
Absolutely.
Aye.
You can
aye.
count on us.
Yes,
Aye,
indeed.
aye.
Yes, yes.
Do we have to go?
Aye, do we have to go?
Honestly, I mean, it is true. There's a Stone Game clip for absolutely everything, right? But
I could think of one for full time tomorrow, to be honest with you.
when he gets knocked out after 30 seconds, that's us when we go 2-0 down.
Yeah.
But that's how I'm feeling, man. Honestly, I'm trying to I've just got no motivation or no excitement for a European game at Celtic Park. That's like, no, it's not the Champions League, I get that, but the fact we can get a European game, it's
a winnable one as well. A winnable one.
There's no excitement. I mean, it just shows what I said. And then we're discussing this week. What game would you prioritise more? This isn't Celtic, man. Like this is not what I expect from Celtic Football Club. But it's just what this season's became, unfortunately, Alistair.
Josh, and I'll be completely honest with you. Any Celtic fans that says, unless there's one group of fans that'll be looking forward to tomorrow night, and it'll be guys that's going to their very first game. Kids are taking their families, but apart from that, guys that go regular, I'll be like, nah, no feeling it. And I think anybody that's no feeling like that is lying to themselves, to be honest with you.
And I'm not saying the more I'm not saying the more can be enjoyable. It could be a gate, and then I've been consistent all season. At the end of the day, this is Celtic, and this is the players' problem to sort out. The only way you're going to get people like me, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to take a lot to get me kind of back on side, is to win results and good performances as well. That's why that's the problem. Is there's no good performances, and that's why people are going to the games and they're bored that they're not.
What I will say, Josh, is for every good performance you'll get about 10 bad.
Aye.
It's got that kind of feel about it. But like you, I'm wanting to be proved wrong. I'm wanting to be proved that we can compete, but I'm just, maybe it's a coping mechanism, I don't know. But I'm a bit like you. It's going to take a lot to lift me because we've been brought up on brilliant Celtic teams and entertaining Celtic teams. Didn't always get the result, but at least you go, oh, Hooper will get a goal, Edward will get a goal, Dumbelli will get a goal, Kyogo will get goals. Jota will entertain us. God, we've just found out before recording, folks. My head is no fit. So there's nothing to get you off your seat and entertain you.
No, exactly.
They happen to the players. That's just what we've been watching for weeks.
Aye, and I said something in the Dundee preview, which I said that just grinding out results it's not sustainable. That's not a sustainable way. It's never been the Celtic way. You always want to entertain as well. Don't get me wrong. There's times in seasons where you need to kind of grind out a result. I'm not saying that you're not going to win every game 4-5-0. But when have we ever seen a Celtic be in control for 90 minutes, really show up in any sort of European League game or a like a cup game or a big game, a derby game? We've not seen it, and I think Sunday was coming. I think it was coming. The bad performances eventually catch up with them.
The thing is, Josh, I wish I could say I was surprised, but I
Aye,
wasn't. And I wasn't even. I was angry. I was fuming at the performance, but was angry with the players. No, because they've reverted to type. I mean, unless I'm fed up saying this about Celtic. You're always good as see when you're at a club like Celtic, you're always good as the forward line. I mean,
aye.
that's what wins you games. And I'm not being funny. At the end of the day, our starting centre forward get 1 goal for Middlesbrough, and that's no hard with him. But that's what you're dealing with.
No,
And
no.
the old guy with the own player is
And
setting choice.
I feel sorry for Kelechi Iheanacho because I think he's been put in a really bad situation. He's got wingers who don't service him. He's got midfielders that don't service him. He's been put in a really. He's probably no match fit because obviously he was no really playing before he came to Celtic. So he's been put in a really awkward situation yet again by the club, and he's been put. And as you said there, Alistair, there's leaving it. We can change up front because our second choice is somebody. No disrespect to the League of Ireland, who who I had a decent season, the Shamrock Rovers, but I'm sorry, and you called me disrespectful if you want. That doesn't qualify you to be a Celtic striker, in my opinion. You look at players that we have brought in, and they've kept. I'm sorry, Johnny Kenny is it's a waste of time, in my opinion. Might be harsh, but I look at it and go like that. We had Kyogo and Giacomakis at one point. We had Ochen
Edward
Edward,
Dembele at another.
Dembele, Griffiths, Hooper, and Hooper and Stokes, was it? You've had really good strikers who have, I'm pretty sure if you're no one of them's no doing it, you can bring them what the other one on, and they've not got that anymore. We've got somebody, as you said, who's probably no 100% fit, been put in a real awkward situation, and we've got somebody, Johnny Kenny,
And
who
Senior Mad is leaving in the Europa League squad.
exactly. So this whole thing just doesn't make sense. Obviously, I was to the manager, by myself and probably you as well, was questioned in terms of I was questioned by the media. Probably for the first time this season, I'm going to be honest with you and say the focus was truly kind of on him. Obviously, come out with that comment about the whole Honda Civic thing. He's now come out and says that he didn't. It was misinterpreted. It says that he meant in terms of speed of the play. But what I would say to that is, why can you not just say, "Oh, speed of play"? Why you try and be a smart ass about it? And
And getting on to the press conference of our majors, he kept saying, and it's really noticeable if you watch the whole press conference, but he kept getting on, we need to move on for the summer window, and then hence mentioned it about 3 or 4 times. So obviously, no matter what he says, he can't move on because he keeps backtracking to it. And to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you, Josh. I'm really struggling with Brendan Rodgers at the moment.
I know you're not the only one. I think most of the Celtic support is. Even I think both of us have. I'd say pretty been a good backer of Rodgers. I've
Yeah.
certainly been. I think you've been as well. Been a good, but even I'm looking at it and going, right, come on to fuck, Brendan. You're not making sense here. The style of
it's copy and paste, just
the style of play is turgid. You're not doing anything to actually try and change anything. You're playing the same players like Rail Hatate, Callum McGregor, who have been terrible all season. Let's be honest about it. Who have been pretty shocking, in my opinion, all season. And you're talking about recruitment and all that, but you're sitting there with £11 million central midfielder on the bench.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying Ali Engels comes in, as everybody knows, I'm probably a good big fan of Ali Engels, right? But I'm not saying Ali Engels comes in there and fixes it. I don't think he does. I don't think it's just cut and dry as that. I don't think any player comes in. I just think systematically at the moment we are broken as a team. There's no balance to the team. As you said, there's no focal point that we've had in previous years. Defensively, I think we started off pretty solid, but we're now starting to concede goals in bucket loads. We've conceded 5 goals in 2 games.
Yeah.
And we've conceded some absolute comical goals. The one against Braga where the goalkeeper just did the same. So that's what I'm trying to say. There's a complete lack of balance in this team. So when I say something like, bring in Ali Engels, in no way am I saying that fixes everything, but at least you can go, right, let's see what he can do. And that is my big gripe with him. He's just playing the same players all the time. I've got one thing that's very annoying with me is how many times he subs Yang off at half time. When are you going to realise he's rubbish? I'm sorry, no, he's rubbish.
And see, I'm going to defend Yang. What does he expect?
Exactly.
To come up for Birmingham as a better player after talking to them.
Exactly. No.
Shafted the boy, and I'm a professional football player. But I'm sorry, it's human nature.
The professional football argument is too easy to make. Professional footballers aren't robots, It's like when people say to me, professional football players, because people sometimes say, professional footballers shouldn't they miss penalties? Well, this is just human, stuff like that, and it happens and stuff. But the stuff with Yang, it's 100% correct. What did you expect? He's been promised a move. Let's be honest, when he was settled up here, he wasn't great either. So he's not exactly going to be better. He's probably going to be worse. He's still trying.
Won the game in 2.5 years.
Aye. He's still trying. He's still trying, and that's what Yang he tries, but his ability it just stops him from going further. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm as I said at the start with the clip, I just, it's like a chore to go and watch Celtic at the moment. And I would understand if Hearts were, Hearts are top of the league on merit, and Hearts have deserved to be top of the league. And I wouldn't have a problem with that if Celtic were also firing them, like Aberdeen last season. Both of us were just winning games in that first part of the season. But the fact is, we are not winning games. When we do, it's a scrape. We're scraping a last-minute penalty. Last-minute win against Motherwell.
It's not
a Celtic team. It's not a Celtic team.
No.
I'm sorry, and it's not a Celtic team. The board obviously take a lot of that blame, and I still stand by that. But the manager needs to take blame as well. He's the head of and he needs to try and get us going on the pitch. That's what he's paid to do, and I just don't see what he's doing to try and change anything.
The manager's rambling. He's rambling. I don't think he believes some of the things he's coming out with. It's so erratic. It's unreal.
No, it just seems a bit rambling to me as well. But Brendan is going to have to find something, because you've got this game and tomorrow night, which is probably going to, for me, I think if we don't get a result tomorrow night, I think it's going to be very difficult for it to qualify, because I don't see this team going away. I don't see this team going away to any away grounds and getting a result. Red Star, I think we were pretty fortunate, to be honest. to get a result. I think Reds had some good chances that could have put away. Braga was also pretty embarrassing. Obviously, Sturm Graz tomorrow night, and then you go away to Midtjylland.
Midtjylland, which when the draw was made, we targeted as a possible out of the away games. That was the one that we both said we fancied, but wouldn't you know it, they went into an EPL side and won. So, and we couldn't do that. So, I wouldn't care who it was at the moment.
But
So
what I remember us saying at the start of the draw was when, like, you know, that confidence will be a big thing when it comes to these games. You know, if we're in a good run of form, you know, we'd probably won here full of confidence. Aye, we can get a result, no bother. But now it's the opposite. We're not in a good run of form.
You're turning up hope more than expectation.
Aye, exactly. And it should be the expectation you should be expecting to beat Sturm Graz. And that's you should be. But that's where we're at the moment. It's just like we're sitting there debating what game's more important. That's when should that ever? Aye, when should that ever be coming into the case at Celtic Football Club? Every single game should be important. We should have a big enough squad because of the finances that we've got at this club. That we should have a big enough squad to cope with the tournaments that we take part in. We take in part in obviously the cups, the league, and the European competitions. So I don't buy this. You know what's been important, but yeah, again, it's just fans are it's just apathy because they're like, well, that's the situation. Unfortunately, that is the situation in which we find ourselves in.
And I'm not being this. If we lose tomorrow night, which I hope we don't, cards on the table, right? But if we lose, try selling the other 2 home games. Good luck with that.
And by the way, what I will say to people, didn't take up the Europa League package. Well done.
Aye.
Because you seen this coming. I took my Europe, took the ticket scheme or whatever. Because I still want to go along and support the team. But even I've said that if we don't get a result tomorrow night, I won't be attending. I won't be attending the rest of the Europa League games because. And you can tell by the theme of this podcast, we're already kind of a bit like, we need somebody to get a lift. We need, and they've got. And what I would caveat this time, we try and bring a bit of positivity. I know it's difficult, but they have got. They've got a good run of games to try and get that positivity, and you've got Hearts at Tynecastle. If you can get a victory and you can cut the gap down, we're probably back to similar where we were. Then you've got a good game against Falkirk in the midweek. If you can get the result there, and then you get into that derby, and if you can beat Rangers, the positivity will start to come back. But at the end of the day, do I see this team doing it? No. I'm sorry, I don't.
They might win 2 at the 3, but if you can't score goals, and in case people that are listening to this are thinking, God, boys, a bit negative. What's to be positive about it?
Exactly. I try and be positive, but I'm only talking about what's in front of us. If you look at the next 5 games, we've got obviously Sturm Graz tomorrow, then we've got Hearts, then we've got Falkirk, then we've got Rangers, and then I think it's St Mirren after Midtjylland, then St Mirren. There is generally only one game I can see us winning out of that, and it's Falkirk in the midweek.
And even
that's not a gimme.
Yeah. No, there's no a gimme for Celtic.
Exactly.
As I said earlier in the podcast, you're only as good as your strikers, and we don't have a forward line.
No, we don't. But aye. In terms of our opponents tomorrow night, Sturm Graz sit top of the Austrian Bundesliga.
I think they're Austrian champions, you know.
I think they're the Austrian
I think yeah.
champions. So they sit top of the Austrian Bundesliga. I think they've won all their games. No, they've lost 2 of their games in the league. And they've played 2 games in the Europa League. They beat Rangers, and then I can't remember who they lost to, but they
No, they lost to Midtjylland.
Midtjylland, is it? So obviously Rangers played them in the last match day. And I was actually speaking to a Rangers supporter about obviously how they set up, and when they told me they set up quite narrow, I thought, fuck.
Oh God, we're in trouble.
It's actually somebody at my uni I was talking, he was doing some article and he was asking about Celtic's, could Celtic cope? And I just told him, I says no. I says because if a team plays narrow against us with no wingers to actually, break that down. So
we've got wingers, Josh, but we've no centre forward to.
aye.
We can't get to the byline.
So the way I was looking at it, they're probably going to come tomorrow and make it stuffy. They'll know what situation we're in. They'll know.
A point suits them.
They'll know what situation we're in terms of fans are probably, so they'll probably try and get the fans
On
their backs and try and get the result. But it's got to be difficult. It really isn't. I think I'm just going to be saying that an awful lot at a time this season. I think it's going to be extremely difficult when it comes to these games, especially if Sturm Graz aren't going to go with a more narrow approach. Because I would, as soon as he said that, I thought, fuck.
Well, I must say the bats I've seen in that is Sturm Graz. And that's the Sturm Graz at home. You can't get at them, Josh. But what I would say is, I'm like a dog with a bone with this. If we can't get the ball, if we can't get by a low block, then we're in trouble.
Aye.
I think the only thing I will say is we need to start twitting, give the crowd something to cheer early doors. If it turns out to be Braga-esque, forget it.
The Braga game was flat as fuck. Go to team selection, Alistair. I'm just going to be really quick with it. Castro's Michael will be in goal. Not that I would want him in goal, personally. Alistair Johnston's back. Dyson Maida's out. I think he will play Alistair Johnston.
Yeah, I would.
Johnston's a weird one because I think everybody's going to expect him to make this massive difference, but I don't think he will. I think that's what I'm trying to say earlier on. I think our problems. I think he will make a difference. He's better than Ralston and better than Donovan, but I don't think the problem we're having at the moment is a player problem. I think it's system. Players are part of the problem, of course, but I think it's more a system problem. Cameron Carter-Vickers will play. Liam Scales will play. I see he made comments today about the fan protests is distracting him a bit. Well,
that's an excuse.
I think that's a bit of an, especially when your manager's come out and said that there's no excuse for it. I can get it to an extent. Obviously, you don't want to stop. You want to go on with the game, but it was before the filter. It was before the game, or just as the game was starting. So
don't get me. I'm not having that. Anyway, what I will say in regard to the Liam Scales comments, I would just say the players will be as flat as we are, because they've been let down as well. Because players need competition. Said it before.
Aye.
Because it's human nature. If you know what you're going to be doing every week, you're bound to get sloppy. Doesn't make it right, but it's human nature.
Aye, left back Alistair Tierney will play.
I'd go.
But Rodgers is going to play Tierney. You just know it, man.
If you're going to play Tierney, play him at centre half.
Sriracha looked really pissed off on Sunday. I seen that. He looked quite pissed off.
No wonder.
Midfield, I think Will he change the midfield?
Going to play.
I'd be fuming if he did not change this midfield. Cal McGregor will play. He needs to back up his ideas.
Yeah. I see
Seriously.
him coming out again.
Aye. He came out and said they were too easy to play against. Now, he's the one player on the team I hate being negative about, right? Because I've met Cal McGregor and, he's a really nice guy, brilliant football player.
Cal McGregor, brilliant guy.
Aye. He's a brilliant captain for this club. But I'm sorry, no matter I will call it out if you're not playing well. Cal McGregor, you need to buck up your ideas, mate.
If you're going to play Cal McGregor, don't play him in the holding role. On his own.
I just don't think he's got the legs. I think his legs are away. I think the legs are away. And he's come out and saying, we're too easy to play against. Well, Cal, it's up to you to sort it out.
You're the captain. You can change it in the park.
I've noticed he just stands there and points, and I'm like, this is you know you. And this is why I know that his legs are away, because normally he'd be driving. Driving us forward, trying to dig us out a hole, but he's not doing that. Arne Engels has to play.
For me, it'd be the first name in the team.
Because I'm sorry, this whole Arne Engels thing is just turning complete strange. I don't get it. I don't. Because I've noticed this with Rodgers. See, once Rodgers hangs a player out of the squad, they don't get back in. Which I really dislike. Is not just like Donovan. Look at Trusty. I remember Trusty played well against Leipzig and all that, and then I think we played Dundee or something, and he wasn't too great, and he's not been seen since.
Yeah, I'm not. No, he's been seen since, but he's not been trusted since.
Exactly.
Pardon the pun. Pardon the pun there, folks.
Exactly. I know he's not been trusted. He's not been trusted to actually, and that's another thing I don't like. I've got a real issue with Rodgers. It was when he done it with Donovan a few weeks ago. I thought, I was like, it's one game.
A guy at 18 has a bad game. What do you expect? It's more a finished article.
Aye. And then obviously, so I'd say Engels has to play.
I have. And can I make another observation, John? For me, Hatate and Negrin can't play in the same team.
See, that's what I'm trying to think. I'd go Negrin. I would. Hatate's an all-man. I wouldn't mind seeing go in January. His time's done at Celtic. I think Celtic obviously are going to go through a refresh at the club in the summer, but Ray Hatate's not kicked a ball all season.
Well,
I'd even argue he's not kicked a ball since Leipzig.
See, to be completely honest with you, mate, I think, to be honest, as long as Hatate and Negrin are in the same midfield, I think you could really toss a coin between the two of them, to be honest.
Alistair, the front three, you're spoiled for choice.
Well, Balakwisha, Taneke, Iheanacho.
He'll play Yang. He'll play Yang or James Forrest. Watch. You know what? You deep down, you know what?
Well, see, to be completely honest with you, mate, if I go in, me and Josh both need to go up my list, right? So if I'm standing at the bottom of that list and I hear I'm right out the door. See you at the weekend.
Aye. Fuck. No, this is not a spite in James Forrest, but the fact we're still starting him.
The only thing I would say, Josh, if you're going to play Forrest, you'd better start them than bringing them on to try and rescue a game. I just don't want to see Yang. I'm done.
Tarek also on the left hand side, and then Iheanacho up front. But it's just Celtic are going to need to do something tomorrow night, because if the more bad results we get, the fans are just going to get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder.
See, to be honest, I get the feeling that Roger, we both watched the press conference before the game. I get the feeling that Rogers was resigned to whatever happens. I don't know if you felt that, Josh, but I certainly did.
Well, he was asked about that. He was asked. He was asked like somebody actually said, "Have you heard the word scunnered?" And he says, "Aye." And he says,
Michael Gannon, it was.
"There's been accusations that you're scunnered." And he says, "It's a tough place, not that kind of stuff." And he says, "No, but I'm here to do a job." And what? I don't know where Rogers. I think he just looks like a man that's defeated. To be honest, at the moment,
It looks a man that can't fix it.
aye.
He
But
doesn't
he's
know how it is.
unfortunately for him, he's the manager. He's going to have to fix it. With the players that he's got at his disposal, yes, he's had one hand tied behind his back with recruitment. But I'll use his own words. He can't keep talking about it. And at the end of the day, you're not telling me that he's not got enough there to get a tune out to beat Dundee, or beat something like a team like maybe European teams like Sturm Graz and kind of Almaty. I'm not having it.
The thing is, Josh, do you know the scary thing? We've not played a
Roma.
good European team yet.
Like Roma, Feyenoord, something like that. So
Yeah.
who knows? But we obviously need to just deal with them all right. To finish off, Alistair, we'll just do the usual score predictions. My God.
I think I'm first, Josh.
Alistair, you go first.
I don't know where this is coming from, Josh, but I'm going to go 2-0.
1-0. I'm going 1-0. Celtic.
Yeah. Off your dad's head again.
I don't even know. I don't even know much. But we'll obviously see what happens. I actually want to apologise how downbeat this has been, but it's just going to get worse over the next few weeks if we can't get results at the end of the day. I'm not going to come on here
And
and
we
act
want to be positive, guys. We do. We really do want to be positive. But what is the old saying? You can't make I'm not going to say that.
I don't know, but but in terms of positivity, it is a struggle. It's a struggle to actually
And
think
we want to
positive.
be coming on here buzzing the morning night, a good performance. Trust me, we do. But
there's no.
we can only. Without sounding like an episode of Catchphrase, we can only say what we see, folks.
But there's no. Unfortunately, there's no evidence that we can see that points to us getting a positive results in the game against Sturm Graz, the game against Hearts.
To be honest with you.
I know it is, and that I'm sorry, it might sound, you might hear it in my voice, but my hope's completely diminished. To be honest with you, in this team at the moment, I don't hold up much hope for this team this season, but it's up to them to prove me wrong and to change that. So, but I'm going to wrap it up there for tonight's video. We'll be back, as Alistair says, after the game tomorrow night with post-match reaction. Hopefully being a bit positive and able to talk about a Celtic win and a good performance. But until then, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.